Coming up next on Plus TV, Plus News. Join our news team for half hour of local and national news. Plus News, informative, balanced, accurate, and current.
When the power goes out, life is disrupted. Be prepared and keep your home powered up with a generator from Benquip. We carry brands such as Honda, Kohler, and JCB. Schedule your installation, maintenance, and assessment to keep your generator ready and waiting to protect your family and home the next time the power fails. Stay in control of your power with a generator from Benquip. Equipment, parts, service.
In the headlines for tonight's newscast, High Court dismisses Brad's gaming challenge to $4.3 million tax assessment. Tourists fined $1,000 for harassing Jaguars in the Mountain Pine Ridge Forest Reserve. Peace Corps believes welcomes 23 new volunteers under YES Cohort. And Belize Bank Ltd awards 16 young Belizeans with scholarship opportunities. These stories and more coming up next on Plus News. Stay tuned.
This is brought to you through the courtesy of Builders Hardware, your home improvement warehouse.
August 1st, join Builders Hardware at Mia Garden Park for Belmo Pan Day. Deals, giveaways, and fun. You don't want to miss it. Acompáñanos el 1 de agosto en Mia Garden Park para el día de Belmo Pan con Builders Hardware. Ofertas, sorpresas y diversión. No te lo puedes perder.
Welcome to Plus News for today, Wednesday, July 29th. I am Jordana Flowers. The High Court has dismissed a legal challenge brought by businessman Kim Wei Chi and two Brad's lottery companies seeking to overturn more than $4.3 million in retroactive tax assessments issued by the Belize Tax Service. In a decision handed down yesterday, Justice Nadine Nabi ruled that the claim was improperly brought before the court, finding that the companies should have pursued the review and appeal process available under the Tax Administration and Procedure Act, rather than seeking constitutional and judicial relief. The judge described the claim as misconceived and an abuse of the court's process. The assessments totaled approximately $4.3 million, with Brad's Gaming Company Limited assessed for $1.19 million and Brad's Gaming Group Limited for $3.13 million. Brad's Gaming Company held the government lottery's license from 2010 until March 2020, while Brad's Gaming Group operated under an exclusive license from July 2020 until it was terminated by the Briceño administration in May 2023. Court documents showed that after repeated but unsuccessful attempts to obtain the company's financial records between 2020 and 2023, the BTS used a best judgment assessment to estimate the tax liability. The assessments were based in part on a comparison of the company's reported sales with those of another lottery operator, Lucky Dollar, which the tax service said relieved significant discrepancies. Magali Marin Young, who was representing the Belize Tax Service, spoke to the media following the ruling.
the Director General had since 2020 been requesting the financial records for these companies. And there were a myriad of excuses given to her officers, including that the cloud hosting was in China and that Brad's could not afford to maintain the cloud hosting that had these financial records. You name it, they came up with all sorts of excuses. They gave limited access. And with the limited access, when the tax officers went back, they were told then the cloud hosting, was no longer in existence. So the Director General since 2020 has been trying to get financial records on these companies to do a tax assessment. Because these companies were not cooperative in providing the financial records, the Director General had to do what is called a best assessment under the Tax Administration and Procedure Act, which is in the absence of financial records. If she has reason to believe you've been earning a certain income, she can make an assessment on what she reasonably believes you have been earning all that while. So the tax, for those who don't provide and don't cooperate with financial records and duly file financial records, the Director General has vast powers, including the ability to do best assessments. But that is rarely done. And in this instance, it had to be done because Brad's was just giving her officers the runaround. All right. So in 2023, she did assessments for both companies for tax period 2010 to 2023. And when she did her assessments, she served it on Mr. Kim Wai-Chi's place of operation, which everybody knows where Brad's operates in the farmers market. But the companies took issue and said, oh no, you needed to have served us at our registered office. And so the notices were incorrect. They used every possible technical argument they could. And ultimately, the learned trial judge, Justice Nadine Nabi, dismissed all their grounds outright and said, no, you guys didn't cooperate with the Director General, and she had no choice but to do a best judgment assessment.
Reuben Stoll has been fined $1,000 after being charged under Belize's Wildlife Protection Act. If that name rings a bell, it's because Stoll was the tourist who went viral earlier this month for approaching a female jaguar and petting her cub in the Mountain Pine Ridge Forest Reserve. The incident, which was captured on video, shows Stoll approaching a female jaguar and her cub along a logging track within the reserve. Throughout the video, Stoll makes numerous attempts to make contact with the cub before eventually petting it. Today, the Belize Forest Department announced that after being notified of the charge, Stoll voluntarily returned to Belize and surrendered himself to the relevant authorities. The Forest Department took the opportunity to remind the public that approaching, touching, handling, or otherwise disturbing wildlife can place both people and wildlife at serious risk. We quote, "The jaguar is one of Belize's protected species under Belizean law. The Wildlife Protection Act, Chapter 220, defines to hunt as to kill, take, or molest by any method and includes attempting to kill, take, or molest by any method any species of wildlife, and prohibits the hunting of protected wildlife, obviously immature wildlife, and any female accompanied by. The Forest Department further reminds all Belizeans and visitors alike that no one is above the law of Belize. While Belize welcomes visitors to enjoy its extraordinary biodiversity, everyone has a responsibility to respect the country's wildlife, protected areas, and laws. End quote. The Belize Policy Research Institute, BELPRI, is urging the government to introduce legislation regulating political financing, saying the absence of clear rules leaves Belize vulnerable to corruption and political influence. The recommendation comes in a newly released report, Money in Belizean Politics, Breaking the Regulation Gap, which notes that Belize among the few countries without a comprehensive legal framework governing political parties and election campaign financing. The report argues that the lack of oversight creates opportunities for undisclosed funding, including money from illicit sources, while increasing the risk that public resources could be used to influence political support. BELPRI also raises concerns over constituency spending, pointing to the distribution of constituency support allocations. Executive Director of Belize Policy Research Institute, Dylan Vernon, told us more.
And the report basically asks the question, why after almost 30 years of promises from political parties and advocacy by civil society organizations, why don't we have, as most of the world does, a policy and law to regulate money in Belizean politics? The lack of having disclosure of knowing who gives money to whom has been shown, and in the case of the report, we do point to examples of being a driver of corruption and also a facilitator of inequity in participation in Belizean politics. And so the report delves into these issues. It does have a chapter that looks at 15 other countries in the Caribbean and Latin America and uses best practices from them to develop recommendations that we think are best suited for Belize to get to the point where we do have our first act on regulating the political finance and political parties in Belize. The general point the report makes is that while Belize does not have official public funding of political parties and candidates, that public resources in Belize can be used or abused to influence voters and constituents. And while there are some programs like the Constituency Development Fund that has the objective of developing, having projects in constituencies, the question is always who decides who gets what. And even for these official programs, which we have seen an increase in over time, the answer to the question is that it is usually the elected politician from that constituency that make these decisions. And so, in a sense, political finance can come from public resources. It is even more blatantly done with the seasonal Christmas assistance, summer assistance before school opens, that sort of program, which is shorter term. But at the end of the day, who decides who gets what? If it is a politician or a political party, it is political financing.
According to the Institute, while these funds may serve legitimate public purposes, greater safeguards are needed to ensure they are not used to gain political advantage. To address these concerns, BELPRI is calling for campaign finance legislation that would require greater transparency in political donations and spending, strengthen accountability, and reduce the risk of corruption in Belize's electoral system. This afternoon, Honorable Karim Musa, Minister of Immigration, Governance and Labor, received a copy of the Money in Belizean Politics report from Belpre, UB Executive Director Dr. Dylan Vernon, and Policy Analysis Devon Paulino. According to the Minister Musa, the discussion contributed to the ongoing national conversations on strengthening transparency, accountability, and good governance in Belize's political landscape. We're going on a very short break. Stay tuned.
August 1st, join Builders Harder at Mia Garden Park for Belmopan Day. Deals, giveaways, and fun. You don't want to miss it. Acompáñanos el 1 de agosto en Mia Garden Park para el día de Belmopan con Builders Hardware. Ofertas, sorpresas y diversión. No te lo puedes perder.
Serious about your sound? So are we. At Lavitza, music isn't just business, it's our vibe. From first-time players to seasoned pros, Belize chooses Lavitza. Whether you're a solo artist, band, church, school, or marching band, we speak your language. Experience the crisp keys of a Yamaha, the legendary beat of Pearl and Tama drums, and a premium selection of guitars, mics, mixers, and speakers. We only stock the best, gear that's built to perform, designed to last, and backed by expert service with a smile. At Lavitza, it's about more than the equipment. It's about friendship and the joy of making music. Your passion is our mission. No cash? No worries. Ask about our flexible payment plans. From the mainland to the islands, we ship countrywide. Lavitza, the good stuff at better prices.
In the heart of Belmopan, there's a pharmacy that cares for more than just prescriptions. Medicare Plus Pharmacy, genuine patient and community-centered care, isn't just a promise, it's what we deliver every day. From medicines and wellness products to everyday essentials for you, your home, and even your pets. We're here for your entire family. Moms and expecting mothers are welcome to nurse in our private counseling room because your comfort matters. We offer diabetes checks, blood pressure checks, and medical counseling to help keep you informed and in control of your health. We support our community through blood drives, nutrition and wellness programs, and partnerships that make healthcare more accessible for everyone. And when medical information feels overwhelming, our trained staff takes the time to explain, guide, and support you so you can confidently manage your health and improve your quality of life. Medicare Plus Pharmacy Belmopan, genuine patient and community-centered care, always.
When the job demands more, Milwaukee Power Tools are designed to handle the toughest jobs on the construction site. If it's speed, durability, and performance you need, Milwaukee is the perfect choice. For unstoppable power at an unbeatable price, make it Milwaukee. Nothing but heavy duty. Available at Benny's. Quality and savings.
We are modernizing assessment through the National Student Assessment System, strengthening teacher professional development in digital pedagogy and STEAM education, and also advancing reforms in technical and vocational education and training so that more young people develop the practical skills required for emerging industries.
I was amazed how these girls were working together because many of them didn't know each other at no point, And through this 2 weeks program, they managed to create these strong bonds, and they came up with problems that they were identifying out in the community, right? Problems with the environment, problems with climate change. It was such a wonderful experience, with seeing how these girls can take such simple tasks to great heights.
On the first day, I fell in love with the robots and stuff we were making, like wind turbines, and that really caught my attention. So I think when I go into third form, I would go in the science instead of the business, because I really wanted to take business, but now I think of it, I really want to go into science now because it's so fun.
We wanted to spark that interest and motivation in girls so that they're able to go into STEAM careers, and they're able to then jump into various aspects of or what we call skill pathways. So the goal beyond this festival is for us to then build a nice network, a support network, a commitment network, so that the stakeholders who were willing to be with us can continue that journey with the girls.
The interest in agriculture is dying. There are many contributing factors, but I believe it has been taken in the view that farming is not important. I'm very pleased that we have a larger group than I expected last year. Last year we did 103, and this year we had 116 participating by the end of the week. So I'm very happy.
I love the agro-processing because it showed you how you can turn one simple thing into something more than it actually is. It adds value into something, and I think that's pretty cool.
Planting for me is important because I produce more more fruits and vegetables, so people can buy and eat. I work at a farm, that's why I came to learn more.
You will enjoy it here, and you should come because you're gonna learn something new, and it will be so much fun.
Without a farmer, our tables will not be set for us. So that is what I am pushing for, to sensitize our children so that by the time they get into their adolescent years and they go to high school, they can choose into doing agriculture.
A former employee of AQ Belize Auto Rental for less has avoided a prison sentence after reaching a plea agreement in the High Court for taking and stealing 3 vehicles belonging to his former employer. Lawrence Jamie McNabb was today sentenced to 1 year of probation by Justice Nigel Pilgrim after pleading guilty to 1 count of taking a conveyance without authority and 2 counts of theft. As part of the plea agreement between the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions and his attorney, Oscar Salgado, McNabb was also ordered to pay $3,000 in compensation to AQ Belize Auto Rental in monthly installments of $500, beginning September 7, 2026. He must also pay a $5,000 fine to the court by December 31st, 2027. Or face 12 months imprisonment in default. The charges stem from a series of incidents in 2024. Court records show McNabb, who worked as a security guard at the company, first took his employer's personal vehicle without permission to attend his sister's wedding. Later that month, he stole 2 Chevrolet Equinox SUVs from the rental business. Police recovered 2 of the 3 vehicles with McNabb's assistance, but one vehicle remains missing. In handing down the sentence, Justice Pilgrim said he considered both the aggravating and mitigating factors. The judge noticed that McNabb showed genuine remorse, accepted responsibility for his actions, offered to compensate the victim, and demonstrated the potential for rehabilitation. However, Justice Pilgrim also emphasized that McNabb has breached the trust placed in him by his employer. The judge said that the offenses appeared to involve planning and cause significant financial loss to the business. In addition to probation, McNabb must comply with strict supervision by Community Rehabilitation Department, attend all scheduled appointments and counseling sessions, follow the directions of his supervising officer, and notify authorities of any change of address. A 25-year-old Belize City man who pleaded guilty to possessing a single round of ammunition without a gun license has been remanded to Belize Central Prison, pleading sentencing. Gregory Duran appeared before the Chief Magistrate in the Belize City Magistrate Court, where he admitted to keeping 1.38 special live round of ammunition without being the holder of a firearm license. According to police, the ammunition was discovered during a search of Duran. In court, he explained he found the bullet while helping clean an abandoned vehicle in an empty lot. He said he placed it in his pocket, intended to throw it away, but he forgot it was there before leaving on a trip with friends. Duran told the court he pleaded guilty, believing he would receive a fine because he is a first-time offender. However, the chief magistrate explained that the offense is a serious one under Belizean law and carries a maximum penalty of 5 years imprisonment. Rather than sentencing him immediately, Chief Magistrate ordered a pre-sentence report from the Community Rehabilitation Department. A Community Rehabilitation Officer will interview Duran and submit a recommendation to assist the court in determining an appropriate sentence. The court noted, as a first-time offender, Duran does not automatically face imprisonment. Depending on the report, the sentence could range from a fine or a suspended sentence to imprisonment. The Chief Magistrate also cautioned that if a fine is imposed, it is substantial and not a merely nominal penalty. Duran remains on a remand at the Belize Central Prison and is scheduled to be sentenced on August 26, 2026. 23 new Peace Corps volunteers have successfully completed their pre-service training and are now gearing up to serve communities across Belize. The volunteers were officially sworn in today as members of the 4th cohort of the Youth Empowered by Sports YES program. Peace Corps has been serving in Belize since 1962, partnering with communities in agriculture, health, education, and youth development. Peace Corps Belize Country Director Nadine Rogers says the swearing ceremony reflects the long-standing partnership between Belize and the United States. Education remains one of the organization's most significant areas of contribution.
Our Peace Corps Respond volunteer focused on strengthening the literacy throughout our school, something that was very much needed at our school, straight after the COVID pandemic. Working closely with our students, the volunteers helped to establish a structured reading intervention program that is still active and is fostering a love for reading and strengthen our literacy instruction at our school. This partnership has benefited not only our students, but also our teacher through professional development, collaboration, and also cultural exchange. Together, we have shared ideas, learned from one another, and built a strong school community focused on student success. On behalf of the students, the staff, and families of Arms of Love Primary School, I extend our heartfelt gratitude to Peace Corps Belize and its dedicated volunteers for their commitment and service and friendship.
Education remains one of the organization's most significant areas of contribution. Speaking at today's event, Arms of Love Primary School Principal Chantel Magdalena Petzold expressed enthusiasm about welcoming the new cohort. She reflected on the positive impact previous Peace Corps volunteers have had at the school, particularly through literacy initiatives.
One of the measured indicators of a strong Peace Corps program is the quality of partnership with the host country. That we have Senator Chinona, representative for NGOs, and a member of the Youth Development Project Advisory Committee as this morning's keynote signals the depth of the friendship between our two countries. The Youth Empowered by Sports Project, or YES as we call it, is in its 4th year. It's so rewarding to see the growth in primary school sports aided by dedicated American volunteers. Our Belizean program leadership, Linelli William, who you saw earlier, and Kelsey Balderamas, they work with sports coordinators, coaches, officials, teachers, principals, and community partners across Belize to ensure that our volunteers learn how to apply their skills in support of local needs. We understand that children learn by listening and by doing. So what happens on the sports field has implications for what happens in the classroom. And that's why the fusion of life skills and sports is key to youth development.
Belize Bank Ltd. awards 16 young Belizeans with scholarship opportunities. 16 young Belizeans have been awarded by the Belize Bank Scholarship Program. This is the 14th annual iteration of the initiative and one of the flagships programs under the institution. Over the past 14 years, over 250 students have benefited from the scholarships. Yesterday, a small ceremony was held in Belize City where the 16 recipients received scholarships for either a high school or sixth form of their choosing. Filippo Alario, the executive chair of Belize Bank, told us more about the initiative.
The scholarship program is one of our cornerstones. Many initiatives and sponsorships throughout the community, but this is the one that is the most important for us because we can see the results. And now being 14 years doing this, as I mentioned, now we have real data, real stories, real journeys, and we have seen how people, these kids have moved through the school and now into work and succeeding in whatever they want to be doing. Today we gave 16 and it's mixed between high school and sixth form. Next year we've made a decision to increase the sixth form because I think that we have seen the most success there. We have about 250 students over the years, and what I can share with you is that we have even kids that have gone to Harvard University and have graduated from Harvard. And we have people working in the bank and moving very quickly up whatever position they're in. As I mentioned, recently we have one staff member who spent a week in New York learning about global payments. And so all of these things really motivate us and embolden us to give more. I can't think of any other initiative that is more worthy than this one, because you're not also helping a kid, you're helping a family, you're helping a community, and you're helping the country. So these things are really foundational for us.
One of this year's scholarship recipients is Eliza Donis, a recent graduate of St. Catherine's Academy. She shared with us her excitement when she received the call that she was accepted.
I was very grateful. I felt very blessed. I was feeling very happy. That same day I was wondering, I was like, it's been like some time now. I was like wondering, and I was like, would they still call me if I get rejected and told me like, oh, you didn't get it? And like the evening of that same day, they just called me and they were like, "You got the scholarship," which was very nice. I was very happy about it, that I would love to work with children or people my age or even like teenagers. In my heart, I've always known that I've wanted to do that and be able to help other people. For now, I'm majoring in psychology and sociology, so it opens many doors for me. I could be a teacher, I could be a school counselor, a therapist, depending on, or even a social worker. And I haven't fully decided on which path I'll take, but it would be something that surrounds that area.
We are taking a short break.
August 1st, join Builders Harder at Mia Garden Park for Belmopan Day. Deals, giveaways, and fun. You don't want to miss it. Acompáñanos el 1 de agosto en Mia Garden Park para el día de Belmopan con Builders Hardware. Ofertas, sorpresas y diversión. No te lo puedes perder.
The National Celebrations Commission, in collaboration with the Belize City Council and the National Institute of Culture and History, proudly invites you to celebrate Emancipation Day at the annual Ibo Town Festival on Saturday, August 1st, 2026. Following the official Emancipation Day ceremony, join us at the Isaiah Mortar Square on Albert Street West from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. for a full day of culture, entertainment, and family fun. Experience an exciting lineup of live performances, cultural displays, local handicrafts, an educational emancipation tour, delicious food and drinks, and a free kids zone featuring face painting, cotton candy, snow cones, a bouncy house, and a trampoline. Think you've got the best powder bun or rice and beans? Enter our powder bun and rice and beans competition for a chance to win amazing cash prizes. Mark your calendars and bring the entire family to the Isaiah Mortar Square on Saturday, August 1st from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Come celebrate our history, our freedom, our culture, and our community at the Ibo Town Festival. See you there.
Before our grid reached across Belize, it was built by generations of Belizeans committed to connecting communities and powering progress. Through the hands, the dedication, and the vision of our people, the grid grew with Belize. A nation built through strength and resilience, and a network built pole by pole. Today, that responsibility continues, strengthened by every hand that follows, each generation building on the last, and carrying forward a shared responsibility, serving communities, powering schools, hospitals, businesses, and homes, supporting a nation that continues to grow. Belize Electricity Limited, built to serve, serving Belize.
Life moves fast. Your connection should keep up. Need more credit? More data? A flex bundle that fits your lifestyle? With Smart Prepaid, they're a prepaid option for every lifestyle and budget, making it easy to stay connected wherever you are. Because with Smart Prepaid, you can connect on your terms. Purchase credit, data, flex bundles, prepaid plans, and all your favorite prepaid services at any Smart agent, Smart showroom, or simply dial *100# key. No stress, no waiting, just fast, easy, convenient ways to stay connected every day. Smart Prepaid. Connect on your terms.
When the job demands more, Milwaukee Power Tools are designed to handle the toughest jobs on the construction site. If it's speed, durability, and performance you need, Milwaukee is the perfect choice. for unstoppable power at an unbeatable price. Make it Milwaukee. Nothing but heavy duty. Available at Benny's. Quality and savings.
August 1st, join Builders Hardware at Mia Garden Park for Belmopan Day. Deals, giveaways, and fun. You don't want to miss it. Acompáñanos el 1 de agosto en Mia Garden Park para el día de Belmopan con Builders Hardware. Ofertas, sorpresas y diversión. No te lo puedes perder.
Welcome back. The Ministry of Health and Wellness, in collaboration with the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, and the CDC Foundation, and the Executive Secretariat of Council of Ministries of Health of Central American and the Dominican Republic, has begun a 7-day training and pilot exercise to prepare for national evaluation of Belize's field epidemiology training program. Frontline. The initiative includes 3 days of intensive training for data collectors, followed by 4 days of field piloting to test and refine evaluation tools and procedures. Participants are receiving instruction in evaluation methods, research ethics, interviewing techniques, skills assessments, quality assurance, and field operations. The training is being supported by technical experts from the CDC offices in Atlanta, Guatemala, and El Salvador, as well as SECOMISCA and CDC Foundation, and the Ministry of Health and Wellness. According to the ministry, the evaluation will measure how the FETP Frontline program has strengthened Belize's public health workforce, surveillance systems, and outbreak response capacity. The findings are expected to help guide future workforce development, investments, and further strengthen the country's public health system. The Art Shack in Belmopan, in collaboration with Niche and the Institute of Creative Arts, has put together a 2-week sustainable creative lab workshop under the theme Recreate. The purpose of the workshop is to merge art with climate education, as attendees will be using art, storytelling, creative writing, and digital design to explore the impacts of climate change in Belize throughout the lens of young people. Sadie Moore, the owner and founder of Art Shack, told us more about the 2-week program.
We call it Recreate, Project Recreate. It's a hub, a creativity hub that merges environmental consciousness with illustration and storytelling. So we are engaging with a number of participants where we're going to have workshops on storytelling. We're talking about environmental issues that Belize is facing, as well as we are going to place those thoughts and ideas down on paper. We're going to do some storytelling, and we're doing the illustration to go along with it. Oftentimes we hear a lot of climate education from adults, and this time we get an opportunity to hear it from the young adults as well as the preteens. And it's important that their thoughts come down on paper, because in the future, that publication that we're hoping to have, that will be now transferred to the younger generation. And they can read about what these participants, what their thoughts were on what's affecting Belize, and also see their illustrations in that publication as well.
I decided to join this camp because I'm interested in finding out how climate change and how different things are affecting our country. So this camp is perfect because I'm also going to be studying climatology in the future, hopefully. So this camp is really allowing me to pursue what I'm interested in, and it's also allowing me to have all of my passions combined into it. So far, we've watched videos learning about the different effects and the different causes of like erosion, deforestation, etc. So we're learning how to illustrate based on a video or based on information we've learned.
The sessions take place every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday at Art Shack in Belmopan. And that's the news. Thank you for tuning in to Plus News.